All right, we got about 200 in. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Q1 2024 Chainlink Product Showcase. We got a few people on the line today, including Chainlink Labs Chief Product Officer Kamal, and a few more folks from the team, along with some special guests. Just a quick note, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the Chainlink YouTube channel and keep up to date with all of our content. I'm going to explain how the live stream is going to work right now. And it's a little bit different than what we've been doing previously. Kamal's going to give a quick intro, and then we're going to jump into some demos and user spotlights, and then finish with a short Q&A. So a little bit more action-packed than our normal product showcases. So based on feedback of last year, we just wanted to create some more interesting format for the community and really introduce you to some of the people behind some of these products and services, along with some of the teams using Chainlink, CCIP, things like that. So to get started, Kamal, why don't you go ahead and give everyone here a brief introduction of who you are and what you're most excited about right now.
Hey, Rory, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
So hi, everyone. My name is Kamal. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Chainlink Labs. And today we're going to talk about our Q1 update. Now, it's been another strong quarter of execution, and we've got a lot of good things to share today. But first, let me say thank you for your patience. Since this update has been a little delayed, but we knew we were really close to releasing Transporter and CCIP GA, and we thought it would be well worth waiting a few weeks. So I know there's been a lot of excitement and anticipation for CCIP GA, and I think that's an understatement since the launch of early access last July. And for us, it was clear that we wanted to include this in our update. So our main update today is that after this strong quarter of execution, we finally reached general availability for CCIP as announced on April 24th. So remember, we launched CCIP last summer at ETC Paris on mainnet, but it was early access. And during this phase, CCIP was fully secure and available on mainnet, but developers needed permission for mainnet access, which was done intentionally as part of Chainlink's security-first approach. This allowed us to slowly increase usage in a controlled manner and to see how CCIP handled increased volume and build new features as well to gather feedback from users from across different use cases. Now CCIP is generally available, meaning any developer can permissionlessly build cross-chain apps using CCIP for secure and arbitrary messaging and cross-chain token transfer of onboard assets such as USDC, Link, ETH, and more. Developers can integrate CCIP across 9 supported blockchain mainnet in a faster, easier, and most self-serve manner than ever before. Before GA, we were working to achieve several key milestones. These include the launch of Transporter as a hyper-secure and easy-to-use bridging app for consumers, the addition of lock and unlock functionality to enable support for tokens such as native ETH, and then just a lot of growth, 900% plus growth in a number of cross-chain transactions, and 4,000% plus growth in cross-chain transfer volume processed by CCIP during the early access phase in Q1 2024 compared to the previous quarter, Q4 2023. So again, a lot of progress. And I know this was a major milestone for the community, one that we had committed to deliver, and we've been heads down executing. We know there's a lot of expectation on Chainlink, and we appreciate our community's patience. But See, but GA is just the beginning, and there's a lot more coming. And I know we'll touch on that later, Rory. And beyond CCIP, the team has achieved a lot during Q1 with lots of celebrate. And amongst many accomplishments, I'd like to point out the integrations of functions by Telefonica, which is an example of how functions will open up new use cases for our industry. Functions now available on Base as well automation. And then the launch of Proof of Reserve with 21 shares for their Bitcoin ETF. I thought it was also something very noteworthy. So again, a lot of great things happening in Q1, and let's dive in.
All right, awesome, Kamal. Well, thank you very much for that quick update. We'll follow up with a Q&A with you a little bit later. But before we do that, we got a couple cool things planned here. So first is we're going to jump to Andre Rocket from our developer relations team to showcase the CCIP local simulator. Okay, Andre, I see you're here with us. How are you doing today?
Super good. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away. Show us what you got.
Thanks, Rory. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Andre, and today I'm here to present to you Chainlink Local, the Chainlink CCIP local simulator. So typically, integrating with Chainlink CCIP requires working directly on testnets, which includes dealing with gas, faucets, tokens, and more, because live Chainlink networks have no knowledge about your local development environment. And this setup, while secure, requires waiting for several minutes to validate even minor changes in your cross-chain logic. For example, we'll start with a screen like this, where we are waiting for a transaction to complete on a testnet, only to realize a couple of minutes later that we introduced a flaw or a bug in our smart contract design. Now, from this screen, we can clearly see the error message and realize how to fix it, but we will literally have to wait minutes just to see the error. Developers normally love to build and test their dApps in a local environment first before proceeding with testing on testnets. And to address this issue, we created Chainlink Local, the Chainlink CCIP local simulator. So you can use Chainlink Local with Foundry, Hardhat, and Remix ID development environments, both with and without forking several different networks at the same time. Important thing to mention is that smart contracts tested with Chainlink Local can then be deployed to test networks without any modifications. So to use Chainlink Local inside your tests or scripts, import CCP Local Simulator or CCP Local Simulator fork from the Chainlink Local package and create an instance of it. It exposes several different functions, from getting basic config details to requesting tokens from faucets, creating exactly the same testnet environment, but on your local machine. And now let's see how Chainlink Local integrates into your existing development workflow. So I'm going to use Foundry without forking, and in interest of time, I've already installed Chainlink Local following the instructions from the previous screen. I have a sender and a receiver contract out here. The sender contract does nothing but sends some string message and tokens using Chainlink CCIP, and the receiver contract just accepts those tokens and store that string message in this text storage variable. I intentionally put this only allow listed sender modifier on top of the underscore CCP receive function, meaning that if I don't call the allow list sender function before I create my CCP transaction, that transaction will actually fail. And now I'm going to show you how we will catch that error using Chainlink Local. To do that, I'm going to open my basic test. And over here, once again, I'm importing CCP Local Simulator from the Chainlink Local package and creating an instance of it. Now I can use it to get router and link token addresses needed to deploy my contracts. And I'm also going to use CCP Local Simulator to fund my sender contract with CCP burn and mint tokens I'm planning to send, and link tokens for fees. Over there is my initial test where I'm just sending tokens and data from a sender to a receiver contract. Let's try to run it. So I'm going to type forge test and hit enter. And we can see that the test failed with the error I mentioned before. Now, the only thing needed to fix it, as I said, is just to call the allow list sender function of the receiver smart contract, which is what I'm going to do now. Now, if I run my test command again, so forge test, and wait for contracts to recompile, I should see that my test now succeeds and that I quickly found and eliminated a flaw in my code in a little over 200 milliseconds. That's fast, right? So what previously would have taken minutes on a testnet now completes in under a second here. And as I said before, contracts tested with Chainlink Local can then be easily migrated to test networks without any modifications. So start building with Chainlink Local today by going to Chainlink's GitHub and looking for Chainlink-Local repo right over here. And if you have any further feedback or feature requests, do not hesitate to reach to us. Thank you, and I hope Chainlink Local will help you build your crowdchain apps much quicker. Over to you, Rory.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andre. That was really cool. As you mentioned, if you want to find the links to CCIP Local Simulator and everything that we mentioned here at our most recent product update blog. So again, check out that product update blog. You'll see all this stuff here. So next up, we're going to transition to some CCIP user spotlights with some special guests from Metis and TensorPlex. So let's jump to Elena Sinlikova, co-founder of Metis. Elena, can you tell us who you are, sort of what you're building, and why Metis chose CCIP? Welcome.
Thank you, Rory. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining the live stream. My name is Elena Sinalnikova. I am a co-founder of Metis, and I'm also Metis Foundation Decentralization Coordinator. And that's hence what we do. Metis stands for building Web3, decentralized Web3 economy. What does it mean? We are very focusing on decentralization and decentralization specifically for organizations. It means that we believe that every organization in a blockchain, or even not in a blockchain, has a right to come to the space and work in a completely open environment where they cannot be banned or blocked or anywhere influenced by any single party. I give you an example why it's important. The recent thing we encountered with the GitHub, and we know that GitHub stores the code for almost all blockchain projects. So if you know, you have to be very careful now where you actually travel, because GitHub is actually now owned by Microsoft, which is corporation, which it has to comply to certain regulations. And they ban certain countries. And sometimes you don't even know what countries they ban. So you can travel to countries, to visit your relatives and parents and log into GitHub. And boom, your code is getting suspended and blocked. And the whole project is blocked from the GitHub. So you should know that. That should not happen in a blockchain, especially in our space. And that's what we're building. We're building the open space where nobody can be blocked. How we do it? In our suite of the products, we have, for example, Metis Layer 2. And this Metis Layer 2 right now was first optimistic rollup to introduce decentralized sequencers. Because on the market right now, all Layer 2s in the Ethereum ecosystem, unfortunately, are centralized with only one sequencer and with only one single point of failure. If this sequencer is stopped, the whole network is down. So that's why Metis is leading the way of building this decentralization with no single point of failure. So no sequencer can be stopped. Any sequencer can be stopped, but network will not be down. So you will be able to still work, to save your code, to still work with the organization and not be blocked from working. And that's where Chainlink is coming with. Chainlink will allow us even to be more decentralized by sending these messages and tokens through CCIP protocol to other chains and to be connected to other chains, and therefore to even enhance our decentralization even more. And while building that completely decentralized environment, we all build in the future, because if we build technology that cannot be banned or blocked or influenced in any way, we basically can stop governments from fighting, because there will be nothing to fight for, because nobody can be stopped or blocked or banned or punished in any way. So that's what we stand for, and that's why I'm very much appreciating what Chainlink is building. Thank you.
Awesome, Elena. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, really appreciate that as well. So again, have a great rest of your day and appreciate you for stopping by. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to transition to a short message from CK, co-founder of TensorPlex. CK, we'll get you loaded up and go ahead and take it away.
Hello, I am CK, one of the co-founders of TensorPlex Labs. At TensorPlex Labs, we develop capital and intelligence infrastructure for decentralized intelligence. We began by launching a merit-based Bitensor validator supported by our subnet research, as well as TensorPlex Stake, which offers users a straightforward way to participate in decentralized AI networks with our liquid staking solutions, starting with ST-Tau for Potenza. We have integrated Chainlink CCIP for cross-chain interoperability. ST-Tau by Tensoplex is a liquid staking token that represents staked tau on the Potenza Fini network. Initially, we are using CCIP to bring ST-Tau to Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. We chose CCIP because we take safety extremely seriously, and Chainlink has a proven track record of maintaining the highest standards of security and reliability in the Web3 industry, securing tens of billions of dollars for smart contracts, and incorporating risk management through additional layers of protection and reliability via the risk management network and smart execution. Our team had an excellent experience working with the Chainlink team on this integration, and we appreciate their competence and professionalism. We are excited to expand our product lineup, including liquid staking solutions for more decentralized AI networks, our upcoming Potenza subnet for human preference data, and additional decentralized intelligence products. We cannot wait to announce these developments. Please follow us on Twitter at Chainlink Labs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, CK. Really appreciate you stopping by and sharing that video with us. Next up, we're going to have a demo of Transporter, which is a hyper-secure bridging app that's powered by Chainlink CCIP.
Hi, my name is Evan Drake, and today I'm going to be demoing Transporter. Transporter is a hyper-secure bridging app for sending high-value tokens and secure messages across chains using Chainlink CCIP. So let's get started. First, we're going to be firing up transporter.io, and we can see that here. In the middle of the screen, we have this button to launch the app, and I'll click that. It's going to take me to app.transporter.io, where I can see this screen. Now, I've previously connected to transporter.io, and I can see that with this green circle up on the top right. If you haven't connected, you can simply hit the Connect Wallet button and then accept the terms of service and connect your wallet. Once you've done that, you'll see the options for networks. In this case, I'm going to send from Base to Arbitrum, and I'd like to send USDC. I'm going to choose an amount. In this case, I'll choose 777. And then I'm going to select the fees. In this case, I'm going to choose Link as my denominated value. And I can see that these are super low fees, especially when you're sending high value through Transporter. These fees are going to be ultra low. Next up, I'm going to hit the send button, and it will bring up my browser wallet where I'll have the option to sign and create this transaction. I can very easily confirm, and sure enough, it's going to start sending. I can see that it is now in progress with, again, this fancy animation on the left-hand side. It's in progress, and then it's going to wait for base finality. Now, this is an important step to make sure that you're getting level 5 security with Chainlink CCIP. It's going to make sure that this transaction is fully confirmed on the destination chain. So we need to wait for those blocks. Once we do that, it's going to publish the CCIP commitment and then complete that transfer. And at any point during this process, you can always hit on this Get Support button, which will bring up a small window for you to submit a support ticket. Transporter has 24/7 user support. That's pretty great. You can hit on View Transaction, and you'll be taken over to the Chainlink CCIP Explorer. Here we can see all the details of the transaction. We can even click into view this on Base Scan, where it'll give us all the information about it confirming on Base. When we go back, we can see here again the transaction. And if we'd like, we can hit on the activity button on the top right. This will allow us to see all previous transactions that we've been running. I was running one a little bit earlier. And we can also see messages that we've sent. Now, to send a message, it's really simple. You just go into start a new transfer, you select your networks, and then again, you'll select on message. With messages, you can send arbitrary data and code to trigger a smart contract. And again, it makes it really simple to do that send. Here's an example of what it looks like. You can see there's that check mark on the left-hand side indicating that this transfer has been completed. And sure enough, we can once again view that transaction and even view this on the destination chain, in this case on Arbiscan. Now again, it's really easy to send any tokens or messages through Transporter. And after you've sent, you can always send another. So we'd like to invite everybody to try out transporter.io today. You can see all of the different networks that you can send from and to, along with a full list of tokens. If we're looking here at the full selection, we can see all of those tokens. And we're going to be continuing to add in more as they're added to Chainlink CCIP. Thank you very much. And please visit transporter.io. Do your first transaction today. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Evan. Really appreciate that demo. If you have not checked out Transporter, I definitely recommend that you do so. Little quick update too. Transporter just has kind of an exciting update today for the community. We just launched test.transporter.io for devs and community members to send testnet transactions. So this is just a free way to test the Transporter experience. And it's really meant for demo purposes, so you can try it out today. So as you can see, we have Kamal joining us again. So now it's time for our Q&A. I will post questions based on the questions submitted through the Google form that we sent out earlier. Special thanks to those of you who submitted questions, and I will mention the handle of the person who asked it if it was provided. One quick thing to call out, Kamal's only going to be answering product questions directly related to Chainlink services. So Kamal, because I'm hosting this, I'm going to ask the first question that I'm most interested in. So you talked about CCIP GA being launched. Can you break down what is next for CCIP?
Sure. But first, let me say again how this is such a key moment in time for CCIP and the Chainlink ecosystem and the wider blockchain industry. We've heard time and time again that the industry needs a secure way to bridge this fragmented ecosystem, and CCIP is really building that standard. And the team's been working really hard, as you know, to build this standard and to build it the right way, secure and reliable, which again is the number one ask from all our users. And again, I know there's been a lot of expectations on timeline for CCIP. I could see that. But I want to give credit to the team for working hard to build it the right way. Because again, and as I always say, in the end, results matter, not strategy, not announcement, but results. And with GA, this is really just the start. First, on Web3, we're seeing all the use cases around liquidity starting to move much more seamlessly across chains, more cross-chain games, and use cases that were until now really blocked because they lacked a secure standard. We're also seeing a huge interest from large financial institutions exploring how they could interoperate with different blockchain networks. So in terms of next step, we'll continue to expand CCIP to additional blockchains, including the first non-EVM integration. We'll add support for additional tokens and enable more streamlined processes for onboarding tokens. For example, over the past couple of weeks, we just added support for tokens from Index Scoop, Truflation, Betsworld, TensorPlex, and Etherisk. And we'll just keep working on architectural upgrades to improve scalability, functionality, cost efficiency, and user experience. And we'll also continue to engage with capital markets partners on making it easier for them to utilize Chainlink services and interact with chains via legacy infrastructure through CCIP and the blockchain abstraction layer. And this will empower financial institutions to further unlock new tokenized asset and blockchain technology use cases.
All right, Kamal, thank you so much for answering that one. We'll move on to question number 2. This one was from Anonymous, and I really like this one. What work is being done to turn Chainlink into a true interconnected platform of services like AWS versus a disconnected, fragmented collection of services?
Yeah, great question. Well, 2023 was really the year of completing the shape of the Chainlink platform and providing all the key services that developers need to create advanced and powerful dApps. And many protocols and developers are already composing different Chainlink services together. Some products like data streams have services built in, like Chainlink automation. And this is the main advantage of a platform. It's sticky. Like you create a one-stop shop for developers, and when they use one service, it makes them more likely to use another service for the platform. And we're already seeing this pattern. But you're right, there's still some friction. And generally, the ideal state would be one general API that comes to consensus around any data and computation as a decentralized compute marketplace. And actually, if you go back to the last MarkCon in Barcelona, Sergey shared a glimpse of what this would look like in his keynote for a developer. Now, the challenge is that this is a brand new thing we're inventing from a technical perspective, from an API perspective. And then we have every market we're playing in, like CCIP, and we're fully engaged in winning that market. So balancing winning each market with building this general purpose platform isn't easy. But you're right, as a North Star, it makes a ton of sense for Chainlink to become a one-stop shop for building verifiable apps. And we're already creating real stickiness around different services and primitives, like AWS did with S3 and then EC2, and sort of adding all these other services. So that's definitely the direction we're taking.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Anonymous, for that question. Moving on to another question from another sort of anonymous asker. Where or how are institutions looking to use Chainlink as an abstraction layer, and what does the abstraction layer actually mean?
Sure. So, well, institutions want to tokenize their assets for very, very practical reasons. It provides them with instantaneous clearing of the trade, so there's no capital lock for 2 or 3 days, which is huge for them. And then extra liquidity by being able to trade assets securely with anyone versus just people they know and they trust. But what many people overlook is that traditional financial institution and other large enterprises, they're not going to replace their existing mission critical systems to interact with blockchain. Rather, what they're going to do is they're going to need a seamless way to connect these decade-old, highly secure and reliable infrastructure to blockchain in a secure manner. And Chainlink is capable of integrating with the mission-critical existing back office system, messaging standard, and infrastructure already used by this institution. By integrating with these systems with blockchain and any blockchain, Chainlink can do this by abstracting away the connectivity between those two systems, allowing businesses to reap the benefit of blockchain technology at an accelerated rate with better cost efficiency. By the way, cross-chain movement is only one of the many requirements that these institutions have for tokenization. You're going to need data to keep the asset updated. You're going to need automation. And this is where the breadth of the Chainlink platform, as well as the track record of security and reliability, comes in. And we've already demonstrated that institution can successfully use Chainlink as a blockchain abstraction layer. Swift's blockchain interoperability collaboration, ANZ's cross-chain settlement of tokenized assets are two examples that we've recently communicated about.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that one. Now we go to Dr. Reefer, who seems like he gets a question in, or he or she gets a question every single time we do one of these. So Sergey claims thousands of banks are going to have their own chains and that there will be hundreds of thousands of chains. Why doesn't Chainlink make a golden record chain?
Thank you, Dr. Reefer. I feel I get this question every quarterly update, and I totally understand where it's coming from. But I really think it's a question of focus. Yes, there will be hundreds of thousands of chains, which, by the way, makes the value of connecting them even higher. Different blockchains have different advantages and meet users' needs in a different way, from like performance to permissioning. And chaining is chain agnostic and designed to be compatible with any blockchain. And this is really where the value of connecting all these things comes from. Now, getting back to the chain question, I think the question is rather where is the most value in connecting those heterogeneous systems? And we think rather than making a chain, the most valuable thing that Chainlink can provide for the on-chain economy is unified golden record. And by that, we mean a source of truth about assets across any chain. A unified golden record means maintaining an accurate data container around an asset no matter where it moves. Now, if you think about it, like institutionalized tokenized asset need to be enriched with real world data, right? Either NAV or AML KYC or proof of reserve. And they need secure interoperability between any private or public blockchain to increase liquidity. And then they need to be synchronized between all these chains and existing financial systems. So Chainlink is really essential to this entire tokenized asset lifecycle, from bringing off-chain data on-chain for any kind of asset, be it tokenized carbon bond or a real estate token or a money market fund, enabling that asset to move cross-chain and ensuring that the on-chain record is up to date about the underlying asset and its ownership as it moves across chains. So in this sense, Chainlink enables a unified golden record for a tokenized asset that persists as it moves across chain and is flexible in that it allows users to choose how the data about an asset is stored on chain.
All right, thank you so much, Kamal. So that kind of wraps up our Q&A section. But before I let you go, any closing thoughts you just want to share with the community?
Sure. Look, I think we've talked a lot about institutions and CCIP. And really, if we zoom out, tokenization is really the mega trend here. And it's happening. There's no stopping it. The incentives are just too strong. Institutions are now mobilizing on a massive scale to tokenize. And then what happens is they hit an oopsie. Like, how do I connect my legacy system with blockchain? And that's where they need Chainlink. Chainlink is the essential infrastructure that can unlock the hundreds of trillions of dollars of tokenized assets. And this is why we're investing considerable resources in unlocking this market at scale. And that's why I'm saying CCIP is just the beginning. The GA milestone is just the beginning. It's not the end state. We want to, as CCIP expands, to get more usage, more tokens, more blockchain, establishing the standard. And as we continue to onboard financial institutions, the value will continue flowing towards that standard. And that is what the end game is, the tokenized value massively flowing on Chainlink CCIP. So that's the opportunity, and that's what the team is working hard on executing against.
All right, Kamal. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks everybody for attending this Q1 product update. New format. So again, don't forget to subscribe to the Chainlink YouTube channel to keep up to date with our content. Again, I'm always open to feedback, so don't be afraid to hit me up on Twitter or Discord. I know most of you certainly will do that. So thanks again, Kamal. Thanks again to all of our guests who joined us today. Thanks
Rory.
behind the scenes, Hubert and others for helping us put this together. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you.